Fortnite just revealed everything about Fortnite OG Chapter 2. I'm going to break down what's going on with the loot pool, why we now have Ice Spice and Snoop Dogg as mythic bosses. I want to talk about all the tournaments. We have over $1 million of tournaments, and we already have some insane team swaps. Apparently, Poyo has been dropped for Peterbot. There is a ridiculous amount to cover. We haven't even had the new season go live yet. Let's jump into it. Let's kick off with a big one that doesn't even really have anything to do with the new season, but we have aim assist being buffed. Controller is getting a buff across the board. So firstly, controller players are now going to be able to set up an aim sensitivity multiplier for scoped weapons. This helps so much for using all the weapons that have scopes in the game right now. You can make your sense way lower, way higher, depending, and it will help your aim massively. They've also fixed a bug that's been going on with PlayStation controllers for such a long time. If you run a really low dead zone on controller, which most pros and good players want to do, it just didn't work. It just bugged out, and now it works. But the biggest change of all, on top of all of this, they have buffed aim assist. They haven't said exactly how much, but they've specifically said in the blog post, aim assist on controller has been adjusted to be somewhat stronger. We don't exactly know how much stronger that is. We know what the value is, but they also said that human-like aim assist has been enabled for hit scan weapons across all game modes. So that means, firstly, we are getting hit scan weapons again. I've talked about this many times. If you don't know what hit scan weapons are like, it's like all the weapons we've had in Fortnite for the last few years with the assault rifles. If your target's on a player, it doesn't matter how far away you are. If you shoot, it will hit them. It's not like the sniper where it has bullet travel time, like the assault rifles right now, which a lot of people have been hating. But they've now adjusted the aim assist to work with hit scan weapons and buffed it, which means they could have made aim assist doubly as strong. So if you're a controller player, you're giving up on the game, now is your time. I don't think we're going to be going back to like early chapter 2 aim assist, like prime unknown army, when it looked like half the lobby was cheating, but it looks like it is getting a substantial buff, which ultimately I am happy about. I'm a mouse and keyboard player. I like when aim assist is slightly stronger because right now it is just too weak. You have to admit it's too weak. You can just look at a top tier lobby of players, see that only 4 or 5 of them are on controller, and know that something is wrong right now. So I'm super excited for this. There's more players playing on controller than mouse and keyboard, so obviously they're trying to cater a little bit to a lot of the console and PC players. I don't know what the values of aim assist are. Fully expect me to do another video in a few days talking about how much better this aim assist is once we actually get to jump in and play with the new aim assist. Now, let's talk about the tournament schedule. We have so many tournaments being announced. There is a $1 million prize pool just for the next 4 weeks. We have 2 trio cash cups every single week. Now, they've confirmed there is no FNCS this season. I would have absolutely loved a solo FNCS during OG. I think it would have been amazing. A lot of you guys were hoping for it. There was even an OG FNCS in the game files a few months ago, but it looks like they scrapped it. But don't worry, you're still going to have plenty to do. So every single week, we now have a performance evaluation cup. Unfortunately, you do have to have placed in FNCS, last FNCS, to be able to play in them. They're not for everyone. They're only on EU and NA. But we then have Trio Cash Cup round 1 on Wednesdays. We have Trio Cash Cup finals on Thursday. Fridays, we have solo victory cups, the same as usual. And then on Saturday, we have Trio Opens and finals and the Duo Reload Cup. So that is 3 tournaments on a single day. Then on Sunday, we're going to have the Reload Squad Cup. Monday is going to be a day off, and then we're back into the performance evaluation. So we have tournaments pretty much every single day of OG. We are getting performance evals and tournaments starting in 2 days. It is absolutely ridiculous. There is going to be a lot of tournaments to play in. I will say it is really showing that Epic doesn't seem to care that much about console tournaments anymore. The only console tournament on this season every single week is the Reload Duo Cup. Reload already is having a bunch of issues as a competitive game mode, so being the only tournament that console players get is a little bit sad. But on top of this, they put it on the same day as Trio Opens and Trio Finals, so they didn't even give console players a day where they can play their 1 tournament a week unless they want to miss out on another tournament, which I am a little bit sad about. Now, personally, I was kind of hoping Epic would do a few less tournaments and then just increase the prize pool on the ones they have, but either way, it's better than no tournaments. Unless there's major glitches like there was during last OG season, we have a lot going on with competitive Fortnite this season. Almost all the formats are the same. Some of the prize pools got increased. I'm pretty sure it's a typo, but at this point right now, if you win the Squad Reload Cup on EU or NA, you make $16,000, $4,000 each. I'm pretty sure this is a wording bug. I think it's only meant to be $1,000 each, $4,000 per squad, but the prize pools are still looking absolutely insane. The other major change though is Trio Cash Cups. Instead of being opens and then top 198 teams make finals, it is going to be set lobby finals. We have Trio set lobbies for the first time in years, and this is going to start getting us excited towards FNCS. Fortnite did also mention they will give us news on exactly what's going on with FNCS at the end of this month. I'm guessing they'll give us like the year roadmap ahead for 2025. They did specifically mention that later in the month, we're going to find out the results of the Siphon trial. So we don't know what the current Siphon is. And unfortunately, the way I'm reading that is we're not going to have Siphon this season until they announce it. So it's kind of cool to see that we're getting Siphon returning to the game. The Siphon trials were super interesting, but the fact we're not going to have Siphon during a period of Fortnite when Siphon was in everything is a little bit sad. I really hope they pick either the 50 or 40 effective health or even the 75 health over time. Those are my three favorite options from Siphon by far. I really hope we get one of the first two. 50 or 40 effective health is just really nice. It's really strong. It's not too overpowered. It's simple. Everyone loves it. It would make so much sense to be one of those two. So I kind of have a feeling Epic won't do it. We'll see, but sadly we have to wait. We don't actually know what's going on with Siphon right now. With these set lobby tournaments, we have a few pros locking in their new trios. It looks like Rise, Clicks, and Muzz are going to be sticking together. They have announced they're playing together as well. We have Epic Whale locking in with Dukes and Bryce, but we almost had the unthinkable. We almost had Peterbot getting Rapid and Bolt to drop Poyo for him. So in case you guys somehow have missed the timeline, we've had Poyo and Peterbot have the most dominant chapter of all time in Fortnite history, and then we had Peterbot drop Poyo despite this. This was already insane. Poyo then went on to find a new trio with Bolts and Rapid, who are somehow outplacing Peterbot for the trio that he created when he dropped Poyo, and then Peterbot came along and got Rapid and Bolts to drop Poyo for him. So he then took his trio from him after being dropped from the trio he should have had already. Apparently, it was all a joke. We had Rapid and Peterbot both tweet these. They both came to my chat, they started trolling, and they deleted the tweet saying it was a joke. Now, I saw this coming. I talked about this a few days ago if you watched my React channel video where I said it would be insane if Peterbot turned around and snaked with Poyo, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised. They're saying it's a joke. Apparently, everyone was in on it, but it honestly scares me that they were considering it enough to even make it a joke. So at this point, if you saw anything about Peterbot, Bolts, and Rapid, apparently it's not true, but I honestly don't know how much I believe that. If it ends up happening, I would not be surprised at all. We had some changes to Reload. We now have a brand new Reload map, the Oasis. It is going to rotate now between the old map and the new map in all of the Reload game modes and Reload tournaments. They also added solo Reload, which looks really interesting. You start off with 3 lives, and there's going to be a point where you stop respawning, just like regular Reload. For every life you still have, you're going to gain 50 overshield, which doesn't replenish though. So if you have your 3 lives, you're going to be running around with like 500, 550 health in builds, and then you're going to lose that overshield. It does look super interesting. I think it's going to be super fun to play. The new map looks incredible, and they have a really good loot pool for it. I'm not going to go through the whole loot pool, but it looks extremely fun. Good shotguns, good assault rifles, some fun weapons. Reload is looking like it's going to continue being as popular as it has been. It is going to be amazing. As far as loot pools, we did have some items confirmed to not be in competitive going forward. So it looks like we're not going to have grenades, remote explosives, stink bombs, clingers, heavy sniper, rocket launcher, and grenade launcher. So a lot of the more cheesy, crazy weapons are not going to be in competitive, but I'm reading that as the mythics are going to be in competitive. Remember, we have Eminem's mythic minigun now as well. We have Snoop Dogg's mythic drum gun, and we have Ice Spice's mythic grappler. Now, unfortunately, the grappler is not the infinite grappler we're used to. It is going to be the grappler that gives you icy feet effects. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of wish it was just the regular grappler. The icy feet grappler always feels really annoying to use, but it looks like competitive is going to have some spicy weapons in it. Also, if you guys missed the trailer or you haven't watched anything about it, it looks like we're not going back to a very true version of Chapter 2, Season 1, 2, and 3. We're going to like a mixed version that's remixing them all together. The agency is now named after Snoop Dogg. The Shark Island is becoming Ice Spice's Island. It's all a little bit crazy. We're still getting some of the main parts of it, but we are also missing some. So don't expect OG to be exactly like early Chapter 2, like we had with Chapter 1 OG. They are remixing it and mixing it up a little bit. A lot of the weapons are going to be the same, but a lot of them are going to be different as well. Now remember, a lot of these items and POIs and changes are going to happen throughout the season. They're not all going to be in at the start. It looks like Ice Spice's Island and Eminem's Grotto aren't going to be in week 1. They're going to be added later in the season, which should be interesting to see how that goes for tournaments. Across the board, honestly, this OG Chapter 2 is looking really, really good. I was a bit concerned and confused why it was an Ice Spice and Snoop Dogg concert to bring us into this season. I still don't know why we're going back to OG. It looks like we've just given up on the storyline altogether and we're just going back because we're going back. But for me, as someone who doesn't really care that much about the storyline, I don't really care that much. It looks like we're getting really good content. We're getting cool cosmetics, a bunch of tournaments. I'm overall extremely excited for this. Now, this is my first video I always post. OG season hasn't even gone live yet. By the time this video comes out, if you want to know what is going on, we are going into regular downtime at 2 a.m. ET. Servers will probably stay down for about 5 or 6 hours. So if you're watching this, you probably still haven't even been able to play the new season yet. So I'll make another video maybe tomorrow or the next day with my thoughts on the actual game, the weapons, how everything's playing out. But I wanted to make a video breaking down everything we know from the blog post before we even jump in and play.